using my favorite word, tariff.
The president made it clear yesterday this is not a negotiation, this is a national emergency. He's always willing to pick up the phone to answer calls, but he laid out the case yesterday for why we are doing this, and these countries around the world have had 70 years to do the right thing by the American people, and they have chosen not to. They have ripped off American workers, they have taken our jobs overseas. The president is putting an end to that yesterday.
Caroline Leavitt, White House press secretary.
We have seen China, the Chinese Communist Party, gobbling up American farmland. And he knows what the impact of globalization has done to communities like Detroit, Michigan, where auto workers have been put out of jobs, where we've seen factories shut down. We have offshored critical supply chains in our country. Do we want our critical supplies like life-saving medical medicines and chips being made in China, or do we want them being made right here in the United States of America? Every American knows the answer to that question. This is a common sense policy. And if these countries wanted to negotiate, if these countries wanted to do what's right, they've had 70 years to do it. Instead, they have been ripping off American workers. And President Trump has made it very clear that this is a policy he was going to implement. He campaigned on the idea of fair trade, on tariffs, and nearly 80 million Americans elected him to do it, and he is delivering. And the United States of America is no longer going to be cheated by foreign nations around the world. And as the president declared yesterday, this is indeed a national emergency. We have a $1.2 trillion trade deficit and counting. We've had 90,000 factories close in the last couple of decades. Since 1997, Americans have been put out of 5 million manufacturing jobs. These are not just statistics. These are real American lives that have been impacted. And it's about time we have a president who actually does something about it. Trust in President Trump. This is a president who is doubling down on his proven economic formula from his first term.
Now out of work, not by their choice. Workers who now worry how they're going to put food on the table and pay their bills.
Oh, we love the U.S., but when one person attacks our country unprovoked, then we're going to respond, and we're going to respond like the U.S. has never seen before. We do $1.3 trillion of two-way trade. And he's attacking the person, his number one customer. I'm going after absolutely everything. And I don't want to. We keep the lights on to 1.5 million homes in manufacturing in New York, in Michigan, and in Minnesota. If he wants to destroy our economy and our families, I will shut down the electricity going down to the U.S. It will be an absolute disaster. And this is all due to one person, that's President Trump. This is the craziest thing that someone could ever do.
You know, we're not treated well by Canada, and we have to be treated well.
Of course, we're talking to the EU. Of course, we're talking to Mexico. Of course, we're talking to Japan and South Korea, because what we're seeing right now is all these different tariffs are affecting ultimately jobs here at home, but also creating inflation. You know, when you're in business, and I know many people watching us right now are in the business sector, you treat your client, your best client, well.
China is the enemy, not Canada, but we're your closest allies and closest friends. We have a great trading relationship. President Trump calls it Liberation Day. I call it Termination Day, because a lot of people are going to be terminated from their jobs. If you go after Canada, we have no choice but retaliate. And I apologize to the American people. We shouldn't be doing this.